Hi guys, my name is Cash and you're watching Cashed Out Cars. In today's video we're going to be fixing what is probably the most common oil leak on the NA Miata, which is the CAS O-ring. Oil tends to leak out of this like crazy, and depending on who you talk to, the CAS is the cam angle sensor, crank angle sensor, crank position sensor, but most people use this term interchangeably. Anyway, they're on the back of your engine here at one of the cams, and they tend to leak, and when they do leak, you're getting oil over your heater hoses and stuff where oil shouldn't be, and it could damage that in the long run. Your engine will slowly lose oil over time, and it's a very easy one to fix, so in today's video, I'm going to show you how. So on a 1.6 liter Miata here, on the back of your engine at your intake cam, you have the CAS sensor. Now you need to remove this thing from the car in order to change the O-ring, and to do that we're going to unplug everything around here, make it easy to access, and then we'll be able to slide the thing out. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this wire here. There we go. This one here, which is for your O2 sensor. And this one here, which goes directly to the CAS sensor itself. Now that we have a clear view at the sensor, we need to go ahead and scribe a line on here from the sensor to the part that stays on the engine. Now you need to do this because by turning this thing, you're adjusting your engine's timing, and assuming that your engine is running good, you don't want to be changing the timing right now. So I'm going to show you how, but we're going to scribe it there so we know where our timing is currently set and so we don't change it. In order to line this thing back up in the same place, you want to take something sharp here and gently scribe into the metal enough so you could see it. And you want to make a nice line there that you could line back up when you go to put this thing back together. There you could see the mark that I made on the sensor. Next up, you've got to go ahead and loosen up and remove the 12mm bolt that holds that sensor on. And then you could go ahead and remove it. So obviously there's not a lot of space here, but you need to gently tug and wiggle the sensor back and it will pop out, and then you'll see the O-ring that you'll need to change. And there we go, the sensor's out. And here we have the sensor out of the car. This is the O-ring here that we need to replace, and to replace it you want to just barely pry it off here and be very careful to not scratch up the sealing surface of that O-ring. If you scratch that up, you're hardly ever going to be able to get an O-ring to seal again, and it'll be a bad time. As you can see, mine does have a significant amount of oil leaking out of here, and I think right now it's the worst oil leak on the car. Also, when you're pulling this out, be pretty careful to not turn these teeth right here, because if you do that, it's going to be hard to line up back in place because the cam has something that receives this, and if you turn that, it's not really going to line up very well. So be careful with that, and now we could replace that O-ring. Alright, old O-ring is off. I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the surface that this seals on. And now that that's nice and clean, we could go ahead and put the new O-ring on. There we go. With that new O-ring on there, it's a matter of finagling this thing back down into place, and then we'll be able to plug it in. Also, another quick note is a lot of people like to take off this motor hook there. It does give you a little bit more room, but it's not necessary, which is why I didn't do that. So anyway, now I'm going to try to get this thing back into place, and from here on out, installation is just the reverse of removal. And this right here, what's going on is what happens when you accidentally move those dogs on there and they don't exactly line up. So I'm going to play around with this and then I'll update you once the thing is in. So now I popped that thing back into place and lined up my scribe mark there so the timing will be the same. There will be a bit of resistance when you first go to push this thing in because of the O-ring, but if you have to press super hard, make sure that your dogs are lined up and that they're actually going to go into the correct place. Now with mine, since I wasn't able to remember exactly where they were, I went ahead and took an inspection mirror here, looked down in the back, and you could see where you'll need to line those teeth up, and then you'll be in good shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and tighten down that bolt, plug in the rest of the sensors, and we'll be done. Alright guys, and with that, that is going to wrap up this video. So this is a pretty easy job that really doesn't take too much time. It only costs a couple of dollars to fix this oil leak, and like I said, it is one of the most common oil leaks on the NA Miata. If you're interested in picking up an O-ring, I have them linked down in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Take care.